Welcome to today's recap. Today's movie is Shin Godzilla. Enjoy! The movie begins as we see the Coast Guards investigating a yacht in the waters of Tokyo Bay. Inside, they find no one, only an origami and a document. Suddenly, there was a big explosion near the yacht. In the underwater tunnel, a bloody red liquid starts pouring in from above. We see Denrando Yaguchi, who is the Deputy Chief Secretary of Japan, as he is debriefed about the incident and heads to take part of the meeting discussing the nature of the event, as we see an aerial view of the location where the red liquid could be seen and a big plume of vapor. An operation begins to evacuate the flooded tunnel, while some people are streaming live the events. Soon, a banging sound could be heard. Yaguchi sees a video that shows what looks like a giant creature swimming in the bay. During a meeting with the Prime Minister, Yaguchi tells them about the big creature, but he is quickly overlooked. The meeting continues, and they soon learn that the eruption stopped. Yaguchi again steps in, reminding them about the large creature that was seen, but again the man is shut down before they receive footage from the location that shows a giant tentacle. Everyone is shocked and calls for another meeting with the Prime Minister. After asking about the creature's name, the Prime Minister is told they will need another meeting for that. While the bigwigs discuss what approach to take against the creature, Yaguchi calls his team to get as much intel as possible. While the government keeps having meetings, the creature pushes its way into the river. Soon Yaguchi brings his own expert Hiromi Ogashira, who, after viewing the footage, says that the creature has gills and legs and could possibly go on land. The higher-ups, who try to play things down, are displeased with Hiromi's theory. Later, the Prime Minister heads to the press conference, where he says that the creature cannot go on land and that it presents no danger. The man immediately learns that the creature was now walking in the middle of the city. In Shinagawa, we see the people running away, chased by the giant monstrosity that we see spilling blood from its gills, while the creature causes deaths and havoc by the minute. The government is still drowning in formalities, and actions are yet to be made. Soon they launch an evacuation operation of the whole city as the creature advances deeper into the land, closing up on Tokyo, causing more destruction on its path, even bringing down buildings. The officials at that time were discussing to use the military force, but were faced with the problem of the area being heavily populated. The Prime Minister is urged to take steps immediately. Soon a state of emergency is declared. After receiving the green light to use force, the officials are glad that finally they will kill the creature, but Yaguchi tells them that unfounded optimism could lead to their doom. In the city, the people are still being evacuated. The creature keeps advancing but soon stops and collapses. The Prime Minister learns the news as they see the creature standing up and transforming, evolving before their eyes, and its legs become bigger and it grows arms. The monster once again starts to advance, but now on its two legs, bigger and faster. The creature causes even more destruction. The choppers soon arrive on location, ready to fire. After first giving the green light, Prime Minister quickly calls off the operation after civilians are spotted. After the military leaves, the monster retreats back to Tokyo Bay. Next day, life goes on normally, while the government assesses the damage. Yaguchi says that their slow response caused the destruction. The man is then told to stop acting smug by his superior. The military begins looking for the monster, but after searching the bay, they find no trace of it. The general then calls for tanks and fighter jets to watch against any future attacks from the monster. Yaguchi is then given the task to gather a team to come up with a way to stop the creature, calling upon the most controversial people in their domains. One of the scientists explains that after the 3 evolutions of the creature, there is a big possibility that there will be more. After asking to study the monster fluids, Hiromi is told that the US took the samples and burned the rest. The source of the monster energy seems to be a big mystery, and Hiromi theorizes that it could rely on nuclear fission. Yaguchi soon learns that the radiation levels have risen in the area even without any leaks being found in the reactors. After checking the radiation areas, Yaguchi sees that it matches the path taken by the creature, proving Hiromi's theory. The man asks the higher-ups to quickly alert the public against against the radiation dangers, the US soon sends someone to investigate the events in the person of Kayako Ann Patterson, who asks Yaguchi for his help to find a man named Goro Maki, a professor that seemed to have predicted the monster's attack long before it happened. Yaguchi uses his acquaintances, and we learn later that Professor Maki was expelled from his university and left Japan to go work in the US. The man was reported missing, and only his yacht was found drifting in the Tokyo Bay, referring to the one found in the beginning of the movie. Yaguchi learns the man had named the creature Godzilla, the incarnation of God. The ancient unknown creature was exposed to the radioactive waste, thrown in the ocean, and transformed into the current monster. Yaguchi is shown a chart made by the professor that they were unable to decipher. Studying the radioactive footprint of Godzilla reveals new elements unknown to science. In addition, the studying of its genome shows that it was way advanced. Godzilla was now the most evolved creature on the planet. The fact that the creature had to return to the water gives the team a clue that maybe it needs cooling for its nuclear-based energy system, using its blood as the coolant. With this info in mind, the team tries to come up with a method to block the cooling mechanism, maybe by coagulating its blood to freeze Godzilla. They call the plan the Yaguchi plan. Soon as the team tries to catch its breath, Yaguchi is told that Godzilla has reappeared. We see the devilish-looking creature as it walks toward the land. Everyone notices the creature had grown double its original size, showing it had reached a fourth mutation. The creature goes on rampage, stomping over the houses as it heads to Tokyo. The Prime Minister gives the order to launch an attack to stop it on its track. The military opens fire, but it seems to have no effects on the monster, whose skin is indestructible. The military keeps its offensive, and finally, after bombing Godzilla, the creature seems to be changing course. But to their biggest horror, the monster strikes back, sending a breach flying toward the tanks, causing the destruction of the command post, before once again walking toward Tokyo. Since the zone was not fully evacuated, the military could not further attack the monster. After proposing to ask the US for help, the Prime Minister learned that a squadron of stealth bombers was already on its way. The US-Japan cooperation is announced, and the people are asked to evacuate to the subways. Since the bombing will cover a large area, the Prime Minister is asked to evacuate with the other officials, since they were in the path of the monster. Also, Yaguchi moves his team and heads to the shelter by car. Seeing the road was blocked and the airstrikes approaching, the man gets out of the car and tries to evacuate the people. There he beholds Godzilla advancing beyond the buildings. That's when two bombs are dropped on the creature, blowing its back, causing it to bleed. The creature, who's hurt, growls and starts glowing a bright purple light and opens its mouth wide, spewing smoke and then fire, setting the city ablaze before concentrating into a sharp plasma beam that the monster uses to shoot down one of the stealth bombers. Yaguchi stands terrified at the scene and is asked to quickly get into shelter. The planes throw more bombs at Godzilla, and it quickly closes its mouth and unleashes multiple plasma beams from its back, destroying the bombs and the stealth bombers, before again using the mouth beam to wreak destruction everywhere, cutting through the buildings like a knife through butter and destroying the helicopters carrying the Prime Minister in the process. Soon Godzilla reverts to its fire attack, bringing hell upon Tokyo. After depleting its energy, the monster suddenly stops, closes its eyes and goes into hibernation, right in the heart of the burning city. The next day, Yaguchi is back at work and is updated about Godzilla's situation. The man learns that the radiation impact is widespread. The men start to lose hope after the death of the Prime Minister and the officials, but Yaguchi screams at them to get it together. The man, who is glad to see that his team is well, asks them once again to give their all to try to stop the monster. Immediately, work begins on the Yaguchi plan, looking for supplies for the blood coagulant and getting samples to test it on from Godzilla. A US-Japan coalition to study the monster is born, and a US research group joins Yaguchi's team. After studying the monster's sample, it was discovered that Godzilla can reproduce asexually and that it plans to take over the planet. In light of the latest discovery, the US sees no other way but to use the nuclear option against the creature. When everything seems to point to the unavoidable nuclear strike, Yaguchi Yaguchi still has faith in his plan to find a way to freeze the monster, but the man is told to be realistic and accept the situation. Yaguchi's team is devastated by the news, but the man tells them to use the evacuation window to advance their plan. Work begins immediately to gather the huge amount of needed materials. Soon, evacuation starts in Tokyo. Yaguchi's team have a hard time understanding the chart left by the professor. Soon, they find it has to be folded like an origami. By doing so, they discover that Godzilla could use hydrogen or nitrogen to generate its energy, thus water or oxygen, making it unstoppable anywhere it was. The new info renders the Yaguchi plan meaningless. After asking help from the Germans to put in work their supercomputers, they finally crack the chart, learning about the structure of the monster, showing that their plan could work. Soon the Yaguchi plan is approved, but they still scramble to get the materials needed in Tokyo. Kayako offers Yaguchi her full support, and soon the plan is put into motion. An attack on Godzilla begins, waking up the monster from its slumber. Then drones are sent to push the monster to deplete its energy. The creature starts using its tail as a plasma gun, causing more destruction. Soon Godzilla's beam dies off, and the monster is brought down by detonating the buildings around it, and the cranes are sent off to the monster's location, where they begin to deliver the coagulant through Godzilla's mouth. After delivering 30% of the needed amount, Godzilla uses its beam to destroy the whole platoon. Back on its feet, the monster now was moving slower than before. Trains with explosive are sent to blow against the monster, bringing it down again. The second platoon is sent to deliver more coagulant, and after reaching 100%, the team braces itself. Godzilla stands back on its feet, ready to launch its plasma attack, when suddenly it stops and freezes in its place. Everyone breathes out as the plan is a success. Hiromi finds out that Godzilla's radioactive isotope has a short lifespan, meaning that people could soon go back to their homes in Tokyo, while Japan celebrates its victory over the monster and the country tries to get back on its feet. Godzilla at that time is slowly evolving, giving birth to what looks like humanoid creatures from its tail. And with that we reach the end of the movie. Thanks for watching, hope you liked the video, leave a like and subscribe, and see you next time. Bye bye.